Good morning and welcome back to Gaming with ADHD, where today we are continuing our deep dive into the My Little Pony role-playing game. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, the pretty something princess will be joining us today. She is just taking care of a few things. It was a little rough getting started. I have been a bit out of sorts. So, anyways, let's see. All right. So, basically, I just figured I would jump on, get it started, let everybody kind of filter into the chat. I'm, of course, your host, Brian. And I guess I could edit my name. Save that. All right. Okay, so couple of little housekeeping things. I'll probably mention it again here at the end of the episode. But I just kind of wanted to talk about the upcoming schedule. So right now, I am I'm working, or this week and next week will be the last two episodes of My Little Pony. This week is going to finish off the book, but I have something else that I want to talk about for the game. And so we're going to address that. Let's see. And there she is. Pretty sick of summer princess.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I did
Marvelous.
that it was going to be a pretty something princess, but I wasn't sure what you were going to do yet. Anyways, folks, so we've got this week where we're going to finish off the book. Next week, we're going to talk about customizing the game. And I'm actually, like, part of the reason we're not talking about it today is because the art's not ready for it. I actually commissioned some art for it, and
from hopefully a future daughter-in-law.
Right, from the daughter-in-law.
She's not yet.
Not yet, I know, but it's just weird to keep
hopefully
putting all sorts of qualifiers on it. Anyway, we like her, but she's finishing up some art for me, and we're going to use that as kind of a jumping off point. I've shown a couple of people have been really happy about it. So who knows? Maybe we'll do something more with it. I'm not 100% certain, but we'll see. I'm excited. So anyways, come back next week and we'll talk about that. Let's see. So then in 2 weeks, I should be starting Mech Warrior First Edition with Max Liao. How dare I what?
Abandon me and the pretty princesses.
I am not abandoning you. As I told Seraphis, your contract is expiring.
No, it's not. We'll discuss this contract thing you speak of later.
Anyway. You're horrible.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to do Mech Warrior First Edition with Max Liao. Now, that shouldn't take long. I am hoping I can get that done before mid-September, because otherwise I'll be gone. And there'll be 2 weeks. Anyways, I'll figure it out. But keep that in mind. And then after that, I still need to confirm, but Chris should be coming back to do the second set of BattleTech. Yes, Therapist. It'll be mid-September, 3155. You are not wrong. But Chris should be coming back to do BattleTech Part 2, which will focus on the Clan Invasion rulebook. And so that shouldn't take very long either. And then my son Ethan is actually going to join me to do Avatar Legends. And we're actually going to dig through that rulebook. The two of us have some issues with it because it's powered by the Apocalypse game, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. And then for now, Kim is scheduled to come back after we do Avatar to do the new Batman role-playing game from Monolith. And then
quick break. Are you hearing the Chewbacca noises in the background?
No, I'm not.
Okay. All right, good. Because your son Tanner is, Tanner.
Tannering. Okay, got it.
He's tannering.
And then then after that, Seraphis should be making his return. I asked if he wanted to do another Eberron book, but hey Christopher, how you doing, sir? Hope you're feeling better. He said he wanted to do something different. So I suggested Fragged Empire, but that may change. That is literally like 6 months down the road. So we're not rushing in. We haven't decided yet. But anyways, it is kind of fun to have a bunch of stuff planned so that we can keep doing this. So anyways.
And to speak to Seraphis's comment, Arizona gets summer many months of the year. Many. Too many.
So does Australia.
Well,
but if you live on the beach, it's not quite the same. So, that, and it's sweater weather down there right now. And
sweater weather.
He's got his own miseries.
It's perfect.
What?
I don't think anywhere with perfect weather. I mean,
that you're not wrong. I mean, like when we went to Turks and Caicos, 80 degrees the whole time, and you're just like, oh, why don't they have an extra air conditioner?
We had some pretty good air conditioning.
We did have some good air conditioning in our
bizarre because England should take a page out of that book. No, Turks and Caicos is otherwise pretty ghetto.
That's true. Anyways, do we need to go set a forest on fire for you, Sam? Anyways, so anyways, needless to say, folks, I have a whole bunch of stuff that is planned, that is more or less locked in. Obviously, I'll miss some days here and there.
Because
ADHD or sickness or traveling or whatever.
Or the star of the show says not today, Satan.
Right. Or my co-host abandoned me. I am not the star. No. Anyways,
I'm the captain.
But I am excited for
the captain now.
For the games that we've got coming up. So we will get into that. Anyways, other than that, anything you wanted to bring up before we get started? Pretty sick of summer, Princess?
I am starting to feel like my sore throat's coming back, so I might be taking frequent breaks for beverages.
Okay. Well,
yes, I am.
So and also
you're kind of breaking up, by the way. You're kind of Not a lot, just a little bit.
No, I know.
You might want to get ahead of that.
Give me a second.
If you go offline, I really will be the captain. The boat might sink, though.
There we go.
Oops. Time for a drink.
Okay. I suspect the turds are eating up the bandwidth from us.
Gee, I wonder. I did go tell them that we were going to stream.
Right.
It's not too bad, but you just sound a little tinny, almost like a little robot.
Oh, wait a second.
Occasionally.
I sent that to the wrong. Wait, no, that should be Tanner and Ethan, right?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's see if that gets them. All right.
Should we just try to push through and see how it goes?
I'll just have to push through and see how it goes. Maybe we just need to upgrade the finally upgrade the internet plan to get that extra bandwidth.
You're gonna go get a second job so we can pay for that?
It's not that much. And remember, we were going to charge the kids extra for that too. We can do that when they're adults.
Yeah.
Anyhow, all right. I think we are set. Hopefully, the bandwidth issue isn't too severe. If it is, I do apologize. Yeah, they say they're just playing games. So
okay. Well, I don't know if it's being weird for me, but I can notice it for you.
And I notice it on you every now and again. So
okay.
And that is the other thing. We are in the house together using the same internet connection. So we've got both of us sending out to StreamYard. So StreamYard usually balances that. But anyways, that's all technical nonsense that the audience of Seraphis doesn't really care about. So
I know, but Seraphis is saying that he's getting a lot. So maybe we need to rethink this plan.
Well, I don't want to rethink the plan. I made myself get ready for this. Anyways. All right, Seraphis, tell us how we're doing. Has it improved at all? Should we take a break?
All right. Where do we want to start, dear?
Okay. Let's see. Let's for you, page 281 on the core rulebook. All right. Seraphis says it's fine.
Okay.
All right. So today we are going to be covering the running and adventure section. Obviously, if you are not new to role-playing games, you've been doing this for a while and you are good at running games, you probably don't need this. However, I like including these in our streams just because of the fact that it makes it a complete series. Somebody who's new or isn't familiar can see what the designers.
That would be me.
That would be pretty sick of Summer Princess. But also it is fun to go through and kind of compare the game mastering advice that is presented in the different books. So that's why we are still going to cover this. It is a small section. It's like 6 pages. So today's stream was not going to be very long anyways, but we do have a couple of extra things that I found from Renegade, that are just like some online bonuses that I thought would be fun to talk about, because this just talks about the ponies, but they do have rules for playing as a dragon, which I had no idea existed until I started like digging through, trying to find some extra material for today. And then because we're going to be talking about, adventures and encounters and stuff, there is a Ponyville encounter list, and so we can go through and take a look at some of the different things that they suggest, because these would be adventure seeds that you could use. So it all still kind of fits into today. So
well, and I kind of previewed them, and they look like you said, they're Ponyville, so it's introductory, and it really kind of gets you into the world, I think, and experiencing the beginning stages, if you will.
Right, we did just kind of skim over like the locations, and so I
know
think
we did.
Right, and so I think having something like this talking about just different encounters that you can approach as a basic, I think is still a good idea. And so that's why I decided we'd go over those
and
today.
it's like I said, it's introductory to the world that was built for My Little Pony.
Right.
You
exactly.
start at the beginning, which is Ponyville, I guess. So
Right, and I think that's exactly why they gave extra encounters for Ponyville. Like if you're coming from the TV show or you're just looking at the book, I mean, they gave you all these locations, but those are, expanded out as you've been adventuring in the world. But sometimes just doing a basic little adventure out of your hometown is a little bit easier to start with. So
it's practice.
Exactly. All right. So running an adventure. If you have chosen to become the game master, this chapter is all for you. It can be a big responsibility, but it's a rewarding one, and we've got your back. You are not alone either. You have your players to help you out and develop the story. While you're the one making the final decisions and applying the rules, you're all playing on the same team. You all win if you tell a good story together and have fun doing it. Apart from that, very little matters, including the exact details of the rules. Okay. We had this quote unquote, actually, no, it was Max and I on Sunday. This came up where, right out of the gate, they're already telling you, oh, just ignore the rules. Don't just ignore the rules, folks. Try to play the rules as they were written. They were written that way for a reason. Okay. They tested things. They put things into practice. They tried to figure out what would actually work for the system. So at least try to give the rules a shot before you decide that you need to change or remove them. Because otherwise, you're just doing improv. You're not actually playing a game.
Right. And what came to mind was in another comparison, and maybe it's just because I'm old, but the old books that were Mad Libs, where you could fill in the blanks with, verbs and adjectives and stuff. Even that is, a guided play, if you will, a guided game, because they've already made the story. You're just filling in some blanks. So I kind of thought of the same scenario with that. It's kind of similar to running a story or a campaign, is that, the story's there. Yeah, you can fill in some blanks, but it's pretty structured. But anyway, that's my 2 cents.
I think that's actually kind of an interesting point, because part of Mad Libs is breaking the existing structure. But even then, they're still telling you, we need a noun, we need a verb, we need this.
That's the rules.
Right.
Otherwise, it's going to be stupid.
Right, exactly. If it's asking for a noun and you put in a verb, then it just doesn't make any sense.
Right. But I've always found that they were so hilarious because you could put some, weird word in there, and sometimes it works and makes you laugh. So I
Right.
think
No,
that's the goal with this is you're supposed to have fun, but the structure is there to facilitate that.
right, exactly. The structure's there, the rules exist for a reason, so don't be so quick to throw them out.
Toss yeah. Otherwise, like you said, it's improv or creative writing instead of having that structure and
Right.
that's more I think that's more work than you really should need to do for something
Right.
that's supposed to be a fun game.
I would say you're taking on the role of a game master. There's already a lot of work. Don't give yourself extra. So, all right. In the My Little
Facts.
Pony role playing game, the game master runs adventures for their players' pony characters, each encapsulating a tale of heroics. These can be standalone adventures, like episodes of a series, possibly even featuring different pony characters each time. They can be run in succession, like snapshots of the player character's greatest hits, with threads and subplots creating an overarching narrative. They can even be run as a single ongoing campaign with downtime between adventures played out to develop the characters and their relationships. Essentially, each story or adventure can be as complex, simple, layered, nuanced, and developed your group needs it to be.
I do love that word nuance. I apply that to a lot of things with work. Um, so I know you've played maybe a handful of games with other people online. Which kind of adventure do you think that your experiences have fallen under? Like, do
um
any of these really describe that?
no, but okay, I would say they're more simple because most of the games that I've played online haven't lasted very long.
Well,
Um,
yeah, but like, is the story just like one-offs, or is it an ongoing? Could it have been
it's
an
no,
ongoing
they've
story?
absolutely been ongoing. You
Okay.
know, like what we do next week is absolutely based on what happened the week
So
before.
it's like Star Trek, but only like except for when it's like the season finale and you have a two-parter.
No. No. It's more like,
Because I feel like Star Trek just has individual stories. They don't.
well, right. So
I mean,
Star
there
Trek,
is an overarching storyline, or like with is it not Deep Space Nine? What's the one with Captain Janeway?
Voyager.
Voyager. So they were always trying to get back home, but there was all these, misadventures on the way, kind of thing. So they were one-off episodes, but the point was to get to that point where they went home.
Right. And so that would be more um that would definitely be one style of campaign. Like
Okay,
basically it's like, so like one shot is you play an adventure
and it's
and
done.
then it's done.
Right, and
Like
then you have to
like
go do new characters, blah 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 blah.
mm,
And I, for one, am not so sure I love that idea, but I can see where the application would
so
be practical if you can't keep the same players playing all the time.
correct. One shots
Right.
are great for conventions, for demo days at the store, for stuff like that.
Sure.
Um the like an episodic campaign where it's monster of the week kind of a thing, that's where you would have, say, the same characters, but most sessions are going to be started and finished that same session. um you know but you get to keep taking that, basically you're using the same character in a series of one shots. Something
Sure.
like Voyager would be a full campaign where it's like, we have to get home, we have to defeat the evil wizard, we have to you
Right,
know
and I just
stop.
realized, Voyager actually is kind of a copy of the Odyssey, that
Right,
kind of story.
right, and you can absolutely take
So it's an
existing
epic
stories,
adventure.
right, and recreate and rebuild those stories, using your own characters. So it's there's absolutely a lot of different ways to do it. So that's why they say your story.
Well, Okay, so I mean, I really wanted some like more tangible examples, which is what we just walked through, and I appreciate that. But I'm the noob here. I don't really know much, and I've toyed with the idea of being a GM. Which do you think would be best for a first time GM to get used to being a GM?
For a first time game master, I would say one shots, and
Okay, I
I
had a feeling you'd
use
say
that
that.
I use that a little loosely
Right,
because when I say one shot, like, okay, so like right here, it says whether you're running a pre-written published adventure like Stealing Thunder. Okay, so to me, Stealing Thunder would be a one shot. Okay, or could be used as a one shot.
right.
Okay,
I
it
think
is
they intended that for that purpose in the
right.
book, because
It's
isn't that the pre-made adventure at the end of the book or coming
found
up?
later in this chapter.
Correct. Okay.
Right. So, but that would be where, okay, maybe it takes 2 or 3 sessions. Okay. But it is, it is self-contained. They're going to give you like threads and seeds used for further adventures. But if you just ran that and it was done, that would be um because with if you're trying to run a campaign, you're now having to try to set up, okay, what is overarching plot? Who is this? Who's the major bad character? Where do I want the characters to explore? How much freedom do I want to give the characters? Do I want to, do we want to make it open world and go wherever and do whatever they want? Or do I want to, lock it down and they're pretty much on rails and they're going to do what I tell them to, but they get to roll dice and feel like they're contributing.
Right. It's like
So
a warm up.
yeah, and so right, so the one shot, like, and that's the other thing. If the one shot goes sideways, so what? It's a one shot,
Right.
Whereas if you plotted out this epic campaign and it goes sideways in session one, maybe you don't want to keep it going. Maybe it didn't actually work. So for a noob, I would absolutely say start with one shots. If you want to link shots together, great. But just plan for here's the story I'm going to tell for a couple of sessions. Oh, here's another story that I'm going to tell, and I think I can build off of that. And eat like just focus on the first adventure. Don't jump into the whole campaign right away. So, all right. So let me finish the paragraph and then we'll get into this. This is probably going to answer a lot of your questions anyways. So, whether you are running a pre-written published adventure like Stealing Thunder found later in this chapter or creating a story of your own, there are some important factors you will want to consider before beginning. So, start us off with knowing the core rulebook there.
As the game master, it's important that you know at least the basic rules of the game. While the main job of the game master is to be a storyteller, you are also the game's referee. If a player wants their character to do something, it's up to you to make a judgment call on whether it falls within the scope of the game's rules. Of course, fun should always outrank rules. Well, I kind of disagree with that because you want the rules in order to have fun, whatever. And as the game master, you may decide that allowing a fantastic out of the box idea is much better than pigeonholing a character's action to a strict rule. And that's perfectly okay. All right. I shouldn't have jumped the gun because that makes sense. I do that a lot.
Well,
How,
but real quick, sometimes like letting them go outside of the box, but trying to figure out how that applies within the rules is still good. So if you understand the rules, you can know how to keep that out of the box idea actually in the box.
Sure. I don't want here's my thoughts. I wouldn't want as a first time GM to spend a ton of time, you know, checking the math on that. You know what I mean? To sorting out if that fun little thing that the player wants to do is 100% okay to do. I want to just say, yes, that's cool.
Right. And so what you do is, as the game master, you make
Are
the
you quiet
ruling.
for a reason? Did I accidentally turn the volume?
Might have turned the volume down.
Oh, yep, that was my bad.
Okay,
right, go ahead.
So, but the catch there is, if you don't know the rule, as the game master, you make a ruling.
Right.
And then say, I'm not entirely sure, but we're going to run it like this for right now. I'm going to check the book later. So let if they want to do something fun and you like the idea of it, go with it. If you're not sure how it applies with the rules, just say, okay, we're going to go with it this time, but I'm going to check the rules later. Contradicts, I'll let you know. Otherwise, we can run it that way moving forward. So there's still a lot of flexibility as the game master, even when you don't understand all of the rules right away.
I really feel bad about the quality of the video. It's not great.
Sorry, folks.
The three most important parts of the rules that a game master needs to know are how conflict and combat works, how skill tests work, and while you don't need to memorize them all, an understanding of the roles and their perks. If a player character tries to bite a dragon, what happens? What if they try to open a locked door or sidle across a ledge? Then what happens? Automatically knowing how to resolve these situations allows for smooth and fun gameplay without the interruption of looking at the rules. I literally was just talking about this. Okay. But I really need to just read and stop talking. I don't know. But
it's fine. Hey, I have been told multiple times that the discussion is what people come for.
Right. Okay. But if you need to take a moment to figure something out, that's fine. Call a break, get someone to sort out more snacks. Yes, I like that. And you can take a moment to check the rules and make a call.
Right. Exactly. There's a ton of ways to do it. My whole point when in my little lecture a couple minutes ago was more, don't quote unquote interrupt the game. Like if you're kind of at a slow point, oh wait, what are the rules for climbing up the mountain? What are this where it's not a big deal? Take a break, send someone for snacks. Hey, can you go get me a soda, whatever. And there's a natural break to the gameplay. But if you're fighting the evil wizard or the giant dragon is about to spit fire at you, maybe like don't break the tension and keep the game going.
Right.
So
all right, Boy Scout, do you have the be prepared?
I'll take be prepared. If you're using a pre-written adventure, read through it entirely so you have a good understanding of all its sections, including the various threats and options your players come across. This is important so that if your player characters decide to do something outside of the given story or go to a location that isn't in the adventure, you have an idea of how to roleplay the NPCs to get them back to where the action is. The adventure breakdown on page 285 shows the different ways information is presented in an adventure and helps you structure adventures of your own. Telling the story of the adventure comes down to communicating details, and in order to do so, you have to know those details. Okay, fine-tuning.
It's important to look at the adventure's recommended character levels and adjust for your group of players and the overall campaign that you're running. Modifying the adventure to have lower level threats for novice players or adjusting motivations of NPCs to fit into your overarching story is a great way to create a custom and engaging game for your players. One of the main goals of a game master is to create a rich world with which player characters can explore and interact. This book provides many resources to keep you equipped. Descriptions of locations your players may visit, and information on the history of Equestria, the ponies, and their main threats. Once you get used to adjusting adventures for your player characters, you start to become comfortable making them your own, changing threats, or even adding to adding your own story hooks and plots for future sessions. Plus, don't be afraid to adjust the adventure on the fly if you have to. If bad dice rolls are turning a minor encounter into a deadly climax, you can always reduce the health or skill levels of the creatures to make things a little easier, or the reverse if things are too easy. Wow, talk about game master prerogative.
I mean, yes, but it is one of those things. My personal opinion, don't make it super hard where there's zero chance of success. But if it's okay, so here we're looking at session 0, which we'll get into in a second, but say it's very, very early in the campaign and they manage to get into the evil wizard's lair. I mean, maybe you should do things to encourage them to run away and come back when they have leveled up and gained additional powers and things like that. But like the whole point of it being a game is that there has to be a chance of failure. So it's fine to let the players fail and then have them come back and try again or learn something else or try it a different way. It is My Little Pony, so I don't think character death is something that they encourage, but again, it's I'm fine with that. So yes, Seraphis, we do blame the wizard. He knows what he did. All right, session 0. Before you begin, and I have a feeling this is where we're going to get to the point of like me like saying, no, this is dumb. No, this is dumb, but we'll get there. All right. Before you begin the actual adventure, it's worth spending time creating the characters in what is generally known as a session 0. This is a good time to discuss what kind of game you all want to play, what limits you want in place, and to guide your players through making their characters. Okay, there's going to be my first argument. What limits you want in place. Okay. Outside of stating a limit of, the game shouldn't be higher than PG-13, there are no limits. You don't like spiders? Guess what? I'm probably going to throw a whole lot of spiders in the game.
Emotional damage.
Yes, exactly. You are going to take all of the emotional damage and probably lose your fear of spiders at this point.
You assume.
I assume, yes. And to guide your players through making their characters. For experienced players, the game master may not need to have much oversight, but they should still review everyone's final choices to make sure they are done correctly, as well as to make any further adjustments to the story. Often a player's character choice can inspire a side quest or a fun backstory in an adventure, and it makes players feel more engaged and involved when an adventure applies to their character's motivations. Remember, as the game master, character creation is also the most important way the players tell you what sort of game they want to play. A player who creates a highly social character wants lots of roleplay opportunities and character interaction. A player whose character has lots of combat abilities is looking forward to a lot of fights. Make a note of their best abilities, what their best abilities are, and design adventures and encounters towards this styles and that the players have built their character around. They don't always have to win, but give them the type of adventure where their character can potentially shine. Also take note of their weaknesses and gaps in their skills as a group, because facing them with challenges that test those forces them to come together and face the problem as a team. Session 0 is also a perfect time to talk to your players about all right. Yes, I agree with everything that was just said. And now I am going to be super annoying. Session 0 is also a perfect time to talk to your players about comfort levels and safety tools, including lines and veils. Actually, no, screw it. I'm skipping this part. Here it is. They use this example every freaking time. For example, a player may have a serious phobia of spiders. So it's perfectly fine for them to mention this, and the game master ensures spiders don't appear in the game. Seriously, every time this example is used, they always use spiders. I don't care. You're getting spiders. All the spiders, they're going to be in your ears and your nose and your hoofs and whatever, and you're covered in spiders.
I think someone just resonates with yes, with Ronald Weasley a little too much.
I don't know, but again, this is stupid. Safety tools are dumb. They give, you know
what it's giving? It's giving like people who have like weird fetishes and they need their safety words.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. That it is exactly what it is. That's where it comes from. That's why it's completely and 1,000,000% inappropriate.
Why is this like 50 Shades of Pretty Ponies?
It's not it's not. It's all of role playing. It's all of gaming. It's infested everything, and it's stupid, and I hate it, and I'm tired of it. I am, oh my gosh, you have lucked out.
Apparently, this is the episode where Brian goes on a tear.
No, because it's dumb. It ruins the game. It ruins the fun. If you can't trust the people at your table, to keep things quote unquote appropriate, then you probably shouldn't be playing with these people anyways. Okay. And again, it's a dumb example. You know what? You don't like spiders? I don't care. If I wrote, like Trial of the Spider Dungeon, guess what? You're gonna deal with spiders. I don't care. I wrote it. You don't want to play? Go away. Go somewhere else. You don't have to play. Okay. The
wussification of children.
Yes, it's the wussification of children. Okay. Safety tools give power to people to take over the fun of everybody else, and it's stupid, and I hate it, and it's dumb. Like
Brian, I love you. Let's move on.
I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Okay.
It feels like you are.
No, because the funny thing is like as a decent human being, I don't mind being polite and kind to people. But safety tools aren't about being polite and kind. It's about power. It's about, it's about power. It's about control. It's about I get to do what I want to do. And guess what? It's a table of 6 people, at least, maybe, hopefully.
If you're lucky.
Okay. So it's a table of 6 people. One person doesn't get to come in and ruin the fun for everybody else. You know what? Maybe somebody wanted to go on the Trial of the Spider Dungeon, but then somebody wants to throw a fit. No, I can't do this because I'm afraid of spiders. Get out. Get out. I don't care. You're done. Get out.
You should have had a different label on yours today. Should have been Spicy Brian.
I didn't pre-read the chapter and know this was coming.
You should have.
Anyways.
You should have.
So, anyways, I'm not reading the rest of this that section. I hate it. Safety tools are dumb. Just be nice to your players. Be nice to your game master. And you know what? The only safety tool that needs to exist is don't run a game that's higher than PG-13. And honestly, it's My Little Freaking Pony. It shouldn't be above a G. Seriously.
I know, but if it's My Little Pony with adults, come on now. Come on.
No, I don't care. If it's for adults, guess what? You're all a bunch of weirdos. Go do something. Anyways.
I'm talking about like me getting you and the boys to play. You all are adults.
And you know what?
We have a tendency to do innuendo around our boys and embarrass the crap out of them.
And that's fine. But you know what? It's still My Little Pony. Yes. 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 It's My Little Pony, not My Degenerate Brony. Yes. 1,000 times this. So yeah, you know what? You like when you make us play this, and I hate that I said make because you know what? You do a lot for us and the family. We should do it because we like you. So anyways, but yeah, even
you have to read the comment that's above that one though, babe.
yeah, I saw that one. I'll take the kisses later.
Mwah.
I'm not feeling 100%, but I appreciate the thing, Goss, the statement, Goss. I already had to turn down kisses today because I don't want to get Kim sick.
I've already
Anyways,
been sick.
right.
I
But
already feel like I'm getting sick again, dad gummit.
right. So, but again, like it's like even us playing as a family because you want to play the game. You know what? I don't care. It still shouldn't like it's My Little Pony. It shouldn't be above a G. Okay?
I
There we
was
go.
just teasing, but that
No.
does bring up the point that there are the retards. I mean,
Moo
gross
Bear
men.
dropping the hard R.
I know. Gross people who play things because it's naughty
Right.
and
Anyways.
gross.
So anyways, there's my rant. Holy crap. I did not expect this to set me off so much. Dear Lord.
So apparently we are going for 2 hours.
Right. So
Uh,
anyways, but yes. I'll probably rant again next week. Anyways. All right. You're up. Make it your own.
Equestria is a setting that means different things to different fans. Oh, okay. Players who watch the animated series may expect a game with very little combat and only conflict resolution that requires exploration and investigation mixed with a little diplomacy. Players who read the comic books may want more combat, more mature storylines, and to dive deeper into the lore. Many players want a little bit of both. A discussion setting expectations should be had in your session 0, but ultimately it's up to the game master to decide the type of story you tell. Even while running a pre written adventure, you can easily scale how silly or dark the story plays out. Want a game full of laughter and cheesy one liners? Go for it. Want a game full of mystery and frightening outcomes? You can do that too. While each adventure has a set series of encounters and scenes, how the player characters interact with those scenes and encounters determines much of the style of the game.
Have fun. The rules of the game are what makes the game part of role-playing games work. However, if a story and all the action is being held up by a rule, that just go with what you feel works best. Anyways, I'm gonna say it again. Try to run the rules as written. They were written for a reason before you try and fix it. Seraphis, you're distracting me. Let's see. Remember, you are the referee and storyteller here. The object of playing a game is to have fun. That being said, it is important to remember that while the game master is playing the role of the team's adversaries, they are not and should not be against the players in any way. This is not a game of players versus game master. RPGs are cooperative storytelling games, and that includes everyone.
Wait. I thought they were. I thought it was.
No.
So it's not like all those
I think
tabletop games that we played where it's let's beat up Brian, make sure he loses.
Well, right. That is definitely, I think, how it started early in the game, or like early in role-playing games, because they were based off of war games. But I do agree with kind of how the description has evolved, in that the games are like the game master is a player. They have the same rights, they have the same responsibilities as any other player. They should show up, they should participate, they should be prepared.
Sure.
It's But it like if he says the journey is, or the campaign is to defeat the evil wizard, okay, because he knows what he did, okay. Well, it doesn't do any good if I just keep putting blocks in place where you will never go and defeat the evil wizard. The game master should want you to defeat the evil wizard. He shouldn't make it a cakewalk. Then it's no fun and there's no story and nobody cares. It's like, oh, go defeat the evil wizard. I walk up to his house and I punch him in the face and he's done. Okay, great. Well, you just ruined the campaign and it's over. So that's why, like the game master shouldn't make it easy, but he shouldn't make it impossible. So
all right.
Anyways, am I still reading or is it you?
I don't know. Did you finish the paragraph?
No, this is not a game of players versus game master. RPGs are cooperative storytelling games, and that includes everyone. While the game master provides conflicts for the players to overcome to make the game exciting, there are no winners or losers in these games. The way to win is to have a great time. I would disagree with that statement to a point. You can win or lose, but the thing is that if the players are losing because they're making stupid decisions, that's on the players. But if they're losing because the game master isn't playing fair, then the game master is a loser. So there's plenty of ways for it to go wrong.
Sure.
So just anyways. All right. Adventure balance.
Most adventures are built on 3 pillars, which cover the 3 main areas that encounters and scenes tend to fall into: combat, exploration, and puzzle solving, and social interaction. In general, a good balance of all 3 is best in each adventure. Unless the group has a favorite like more of, have a look at each. In combat is a scenario where the characters must fight their way out of a situation with combat, resolved in rounds with initiating the order of play. Combat where ponies use their along with their hooves and their guile to take down threats. Exploration, where players explore and investigate their surroundings, whether outside in a natural environment or indoors searching through files. It's exploration. Players decide to visit a location and the game master presents them with options, clues, and results of their choices. This may include mysterious puzzles to solve as much as finding their way around. If players are tasked with finding an underground vault, the journey and all obstacles they meet along the way are all part of exploration. Exploration includes activities found outside the book, such as puzzles, riddles, and other challenges that work players' and characters' brains. Social interaction, conversation, interrogation, diplomacy, and even stopping at a nearby cafe for directions are all social interaction. Anytime one character talks to another, whether a teammate or an NPC, they're playing the role of their character, gaining valuable information or accomplishing tasks for their goal. In an adventure, social encounters often allow characters to gain information from NPCs, but social encounters need not develop the plot of the adventure. It's fine just to have a social encounter with characters who are just fun to interact with. A well-designed adventure that keeps players engaged and having fun usually includes all 3 aspects of gameplay in some way. They often overlap in different combinations, and some adventures may lean heavily on one over another. To keep the interests of all types of players, it's best to encourage them to participate in all 3, as well as include them when thinking about your own adventures you want to run. The game master should also take note of which types of encounters are more or less popular with the group. I thought that was interesting to read about the social interaction, because the old cliche that you always hear, or all the little videos that people make about D&D is, how much they're going to drink at the bar and how many ladies they're going to seduce.
Right. Well, and
NPCs.
and that's the thing, is because a lot of people like the rules very much cater towards combat, because that's usually where things can go wrong. And so I like that they're listing out, hey, these are all sorts of types of encounters that you can have, different ways that you can interact with the other players, the NPCs, things like that. So essentially that's what they're trying to get at, is there's a lot of different ways to do adventure encounters. So
right.
adventure breakdown.
I mean, hold on, but I will add that because my experience is mostly with tabletop games and dungeon crawls in that respect, you don't really do the social interaction, and you don't really do. I mean, you do some combat and exploration, but it's really combat heavy,
right? And
with the side of exploration.
Or,
yeah, exactly. That's what I was.
Games
to.
like that, exactly. They pretty much just break down to the combat side. They don't really do much as far as
right. And so when I had
side.
like the opportunity to play D&D, I think I've played twice, but like the second time where I obsessed over the grapefruit spoon, I didn't quite
disturbing.
I didn't quite understand how to do the social interaction, because that's not where I've had more experience. My experience is more of the combat and exploration.
Right. And that's one of the great things about it is, there's always room to learn, especially with me, who doesn't, play much more than you do, but that's a separate issue. Anyways, there's always
you have to have people like you to play. My problem is I don't have enough nerdy friends. Oh, I've lost you.
Didn't lose me. I was just hiding. Anyways.
Funny.
I was trying to be funny. Anyways. I don't want to rehash that story. Anyway.
Cry. You're such a baby. Come back here, you big brat.
All right.
Where?
Adventure breakdown. Adventures have a specific format to find the information you need. In general, all the information in the adventure is for the game master only, including pre-written text for them to read aloud to the players to describe a new scene. Text. Anyway, so there. Let's see here. I think we might actually be
done.
Yeah, I think they're.
Oh, this is
okay. All right, let's. Okay, I wanted to do that. You can skip the other one because that's just telling you read their pre-written.
Really bad, so maybe slow down.
Okay. All right, let's.
Ow.
Let's each take what. Let's alternate between because this section that we're going to go through. All right. Campaign versus section versus part versus scene. Campaign is your complete line from beginning to end. Player characters all or get together for the first time to the final session that they.
Brian, I think you're reading my mouth. It's really, really bad. I don't know if we can keep going.
I hate this.
Agreed.
All right. How about I go a little slowly?
That was what I was trying to tell you.
Is your campaign storyline from beginning to end. When your players' characters all first meet to the final session that they play in, concluding the overarching story. A campaign lasts anywhere from a few play sessions to many years of weekly playing, depending on the story and the group playing it. Many game masters string together various adventures to make a very long campaign fitting everything inside an intricate storyline. It's helpful to imagine each adventure is like an episode of a television show, with the campaign being the whole series. All right. Read session.
A session is the commonly used word to describe a full play session with a group of players. Some players only have time for a 1 hour session during lunch at school or work. Some groups play the entire day. Oof, I wouldn't want to do that. There 3 to 4 hour sessions, conventions, and everything in between. It doesn't matter how long a session lasts, what's best for the group.
Yeah, now it's your turn to break up. All right.
Should we just stop?
No, let's get through this. That'll be fine. All right. Part. A part is a segment of an adventure. For instance, in the adventure in this book, there are 4 main parts. Parts sometimes have a designation of how long they take to play on average, so a game master and their players can plan for the length of their play session for the day. In general, you can probably play through at least one part of an adventure in a single game session. As such, the end of a part is often a good place to pause the game if you don't have time to complete the adventure. Sometimes, parts can be played in any order, allowing a group to decide where to go next. Sometimes, parts might even be skipped over altogether if a group chooses a different path to their goal or misses a clue. And scene.
Right. A scene is usually an event, person, or group, place, or thing that the players come across and must interact with during an adventure. There are usually several in each adventure's part. A visit to Zakora, stopping at a library to do research, or a fight with a swarm of parasprites all make up scenes, and players resolve them through combat, exploration, or role playing, often even a combination of these things. A series of scenes in one area or story within the overall campaign that all go together generally make up an adventure. With the end of that series, a good place to stop and move on to the next one. So, does it go like the size of whatever they're talking about? Okay, campaign's the biggest part, piece, because it's like the whole thing, right? And then the session is your daily session, and then part is what? I mean, a scene I get, but part is like piece, like say you ordered your session.
Well, think of it like think of part like an act. Like in a television show or a movie. Are you there?
Okay, I'm here.
Oh, okay. So, like act 1, act 2, act 3.
That's a part.
Those are parts. Yes.
Okay. All right. That makes sense now.
All right. And I think that's it. So then it gets to the Stealing Thunder adventure. Gotham wants you to run the Grand My Little Pony live campaign.
Well, then we better get good internet.
That's fair. Like I said, I think we might need to look at upgrading. All right. So, and I just noticed your comments in the private chat. All right, that's fine. All right. Real quick, I did want to bring this up from Seraphis. All right, real quick. From a 10-year GM, my advice, try a one-shot adventure first, but give yourself room to grow if it takes. And when learning to do an adventure, come up with your own, but read pre-existing ones.
Yeah, and I want to just drop something in here. One of my coworkers, back when I used to work in the office, actually mentioned that he was a GM and that he enjoyed running the games because he loved the storytelling part of it. So, I do like the storytelling type stuff, so I thought, maybe I should try that, but I also struggle with coming up with my own stories. So definitely looking at pre-existing ones and maybe embellishing is probably more my speed.
Yeah, and that's absolutely something you can do. Is you can take a pre-written adventure and, say you don't like spiders, and you don't want to run spiders. Well, you can trade it out for bullywugs or
Ladybugs!
ladybugs or whatever. Yeah, right. Yeah. Evil
Butterflies.
evil ladybugs that will chew your arm off.
They're fierce butterflies that Fluttershy needs to make friends with so that they don't, destroy the village and the crops.
Right. Like perhaps a quality video on the legacy of Old Man Henderson can come at some point. Or evil squirrels with rabies.
And foul language. That would be Tourette's.
So
a squirrel with Tourette's.
Right. So
I'm
again,
not trying to say that that's a bad thing. Oh my gosh, I always do the retarded jokes.
Again with the hard R. All right. All right. So real quick, just a couple little things that we wanted to cover as well today. No, we are not committing to the live streamed grand campaign.
You
but
just said maybe.
I said we're not committing to it, but it's definitely not off the
right
table
now.
Right. We'll have to figure out a day to do that. Anyways, so couple of things that I did find just to like pad the stream today, the conversation today, and give you guys a little bit more Seraphis, if you were paying attention, you know what the hard R was. Anyways, so I thought this would actually be kind of fun because I like, especially if you have watched the show, there's the dragon character Spike who's there from the beginning. So maybe one of your players wants to play that. So since we already did cover the pony characters, I thought this would be kind of fun to go over. And then we will also talk about just like some of the adventure seeds from the encounters in Ponyville. So all of these, I believe, I'm not sure if you have to make a purchase from Renegade to get these, or if you just go to the Renegade website and get these and they're just free downloads, but they are available on the Renegade Games website. So if you aren't sure where to get these, that's where.
I just want you to go to page 4 real quick so we can just marvel at the cute little dinosaur. Not dinosaur, dragon. Dragon. Yeah, she's fierce.
Okay.
She's probably a lesbian. Anyway, I'm good. PG-13, right?
Yes, exactly. All right. Let's see here.
Oh, he knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
Goth, I am so far out of my league, it's not even funny at this point. And it's been 27 years. All right.
Almost.
Young Dragon Origin. Part of the reason also really quick, I have read through this like quickly, but there's some fun stuff in here that I really like. So there's a couple reasons that I brought that we're going over this guy or this character type. So Young Dragon Origin. Dragons are prominent creatures in the world of My Little Pony, and with the Game Master's approval, they can be playable characters as well. Sometimes unusual character types can detract from a game. Everyone might not feel like they're playing the My Little Pony role-playing game if most or all players are playing dragons, changelings, or anything but ponies. This origin is optional. It shouldn't be used if having one or more players portray a dragon would cause problems with the story or among the group of players.
And that's where we say get over it.
No.
Because
The game master always has final say on approving
true.
optional rules.
But then the game would be called My Derpy Dragon.
That's true. That's true. But like having something like this, I think still fits again because when you consider the fact that that again, Spike is a major character, major minor character in the show, from what I understand. You know,
The
having
dragons
these
have
options is good.
claws, not hooves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's see.
I mean, we could make retarded ponies, and that would apply. That would apply.
I'm so getting canceled from this stream.
Right?
All right. Tell us about dragons and rolls.
Oh, okay. Like the buttered kind?
Dork.
I know. All right. Dragon characters are free to pick any role they like, just as ponies are. Many, like Spike, have an aptitude for magic and choose to follow that role. In this way, they unlock their magical abilities. Aside from magic, loyalty is the most popular role for dragons, and they have a strong sense of community. Kindness and honesty are also common, but many less enlightened dragons can be quite disparaging about such traits. Laughter does not come easily to the serious minded dragons, but those who do might see discord as a good mentor. Generosity is the rarest role for any dragon to play, as they tend to enjoy hoarding and consider any dragon who likes to give things away to be very strange indeed. I was wondering if they were going to pull the hoarding thing in, because the way they were describing it, they're like, oh, laughter, oh, kindness. And I'm like, dude, dragons want to hoard gold. What is that?
Right. And that's one of the reasons that I really liked when I was skimming through this, because they had a few different PDFs to download.
Sure.
Like you'll see when we actually get into it, there's actually some really, really good role play opportunities by playing a dragon.
Okay. I just was like, I hope we didn't like make it too fluffy.
No, especially in the My Little Pony setting, the
Right.
dragons can be really, really interesting, especially this last one where like the generosity role is the rarest role for any dragon to follow, as they tend to enjoy hoarding and consider any dragon who likes to give things away to be very strange indeed.
That's what I just said, bro.
No, I know. I'm repeating it, but I'm just saying that line alone made me really interested in the dragons.
Right.
So,
all right, you going on?
Yep.
You got
Origin bonuses. Essence score increase. Increase your strength essence score or the essence score tied to an influence skill by 1. Starting health, you begin play with 2 health. Even small dragons are tough. Movement, your base ground movement is 20 feet. Size, as a baby dragon, you are size small, but can get bigger with dragon perks. Let's see. Origin. Real here.
You want to read that?
Read us about
dragon magic.
Yeah, dragons have an aptitude for magic, but not all of them study it. While they are magical creatures in many ways, that doesn't always make them spellcasters. Dragons who wish to cast spells can choose to do so at level 4, either through the magical general perk or by choosing the dragon magic option along with another draconic bonus if they decide to choose a dragon perk instead of a general perk. So they are magical, but rare. All right, tell us about origins.
Origin perks. Fiery scales. A dragon's hide can endure plenty of heat when they're young. You gain resistance to fire damage and fire-based attacks. Fire breath. Oh, like mine after I eat something spicy. Even a baby dragon can draw air into their lungs and let out a small burst of flame. As a baby dragon, this flame isn't powerful enough to cause any health damage, but it can set small inflammable things like paper on fire or scare enemies. You can use your breath as a standard action using a might skill test as needed. As a baby, you can light things on fire or scare enemies within 5 feet, giving them a downshift 1 on their next skill test. This can be improved with dragon perks. Dragon perks. At first level, you gain a dragon perk, a specific way dragons can grow from babies to fierce worms.
All right. Dragon perks. At first level, instead of a cutie mark perk, and then again, whenever you gain a general perk, you can choose to take a dragon perk instead. These special perks offer dragon characters flexibility that makes them great pals with the ponies of Equestria. While dragon characters are very flexible, this flexibility comes with 2 potential downsides. Every time a dragon chooses a dragon perk, after the first one, they get bigger. While this sounds good, they can get too big to see their friends. Once a dragon gets big enough, they start to hear the song of gold and become greedy.
Oh, there it is.
Yup. While some dragons can resist the song, it drives many adult dragons to live alone in their lairs and treasure their hoard more than their friends. Keep these in mind when you think about picking a dragon perk instead of a general perk. Bigger isn't always better. Each time you gain a dragon perk, even at level 1, you pick any 2 different improvements from the list for the level you are or from a previous list. Unless noted, you can choose any option up to 4 times.
I want you to read that line. Keep these in mind again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. I dare you.
Keep these in mind when you think about picking a dragon perk instead of a general perk. Bigger isn't always better.
That's what she said.
That's right, folks. Keep it PG-13.
That's what I did.
All right. So, dragon perks, we've got accurate breath, armor, distant flame, dragon swift. Short answer, go read these.
Ooh, intense breath. I have that skill already.
Your fire breath does 1 point of health damage.
Potent breath. That's a lot of breath. I think
what else? What is a dragon known for? Breathing fire.
That's true. I think I'm gonna have to be a dragon because I can relate.
Although
you can relate to being a dragon too. You are a hoarder.
That's true. That's true. I do have an
hoarder of miniatures
and books and
books. Lots of RPG game books.
Yes.
Wait, RPG game? That's like redundant. RPG books are because isn't it
role-playing game books?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Tell us about dragon growth.
All right. The second time you pick a dragon perk, you grow and get bigger. When you do so, you gain a up 1 on bronze skill test to lift and carry objects. You still roll with snag if you didn't put any points in brawn, though. See the table below for how big you can grow. When 2 sizes are listed, you can choose which size you prefer.
So basically, the more dragon perks you take, the bigger you get.
And then once a dragon becomes large, they begin to get greedy as they start trying to gather a horde. They gain the following hang-up, and it gets harder to resist the bigger the dragon gets. There you go, Brian. I must have it. You can read that section.
All right. I must have it. The dragon's sense of greed starts to develop at this stage as their instinct to claim treasure and take it back to build their nest starts to develop. If they encounter a rare or unique object that is of great value to the dragon, they must attempt a difficulty 15 survival skill test to avoid becoming infatuated with it. This compulsion is not a subtle effect.
You must not have been able to do the survival skill test when you met me.
No, I totally failed. It was
you failed and won at the same time.
Yes, exactly. Winning. I encountered a rare and unique object that is of great value to me, and I am now infatuated with it.
Obsessed.
Ask Pretty Sick of Summer Princess my compulsion is not subtle.
No, it's annoying. It's freaking annoying.
All right. Tell us what happens if your dragon gets too greedy.
Oh, okay. Let's see. As dragons get bigger, their greed can push them away from their friends. While the Song of Gold diff can get very high, the dragons who resist it do so because of the close ties with their friends. Other characters can tell when your dragon is trying to resist the Song of Gold and can lend assistance and use their perks to help your dragon stay a good friend. Remember, it isn't the song that turns the dragons evil, it's letting the song's curse control you. If the game master likes, a dragon might be able to give up a dragon perk and replace it with a normal general perk after completing a suitable quest and learning about the value of friendship and their element of harmony.
Right. So again, this alone. Okay, and I'm gonna throw Goth's comment up here. Wait, the My Little Pony RPG is doing better with lore than D&D. Again, this alone, like, absolutely sold me on it. The fact that they are playing into, race essentialism, that,
Lord of the Rings.
right. But again, they're giving, like, oh, you're a dragon, this is what happens. It's not like, oh, there's I like how they made it where, okay, dragons aren't necessarily evil, they aren't necessarily hoarders of gold until this happens. And if you're going to play this, these are problems that you're going to run into.
Right.
And in my opinion, these are hard and fast rules. This isn't just try doing this or maybe make this happen. No, here's a difficulty test that is going to affect how you interact with with other players. So it's I don't know. I like it. I like what they did with this. So anyways, all right, we then have a new spell,
which is, it's just, book retrieval.
Oh.
Basically. Well, he can retrieve scrolls from wherever they are. So it's kind of like using Google.
Fair enough.
Hey Google, get me an article on blah blah blah.
Got it. So, all right. And then they obviously give you a sample character of a dragon.
Husband.
All right. So that is dragons if you want to use them as player characters in the game. Honestly, I think they're a fun addition, and maybe I wouldn't let them be used every time, but I definitely wouldn't turn them down. So automatically. All right. Finally, extra encounters. All right. Kim, do me a favor and roll a d20.
Okay.
Let's see. Goth does want to know about zebras and donkeys. Rules for those have not yet been provided. They have been mentioned a couple of times in the core rules, and in other places, but they've put out options for character or for griffins. I want to say they said they did yaks as well. Don't quote me on the yak, though. I know they did griffins because I looked through all of the books. We have all of the books. But they've done griffins and they've done dragons, but they haven't done zebras and donkeys yet. Supposedly they're coming, but we'll see if, because that's another thing. I haven't seen a new book for My Little Pony in quite some time.
That's true.
We will have to keep our eye out for that. I am not a closet brony goths. I buy them for Kim.
They're my books.
They're Kim's books.
But they are on your bookshelf, so maybe that does make you a brony.
That's a whole separate issue. Maybe you should clear some space off of your bookshelves to move them over there.
You don't want his cutie mark to show because he's fuzzy. I said what I said. Anyway, so I rolled an 18.
Again, we're going to have to talk about your contract.
I'm up for negotiations.
All right. 18. Yeah. Magic in the local area becomes overloaded. Unicorns start casting spells at random, whether they want to or not. Oh. Can the player characters find the source of extra energy and shut it down? It might be a place of magical energy, a spell gone wrong, a magic item, or even the arrival of a powerful magical creature.
You know, that reminds me of this the fairy tale of the red shoes. Do you know what I'm talking about? Nope. Where it's like, I don't know who wrote it, but I remember watching like a cartoon that back when I was a kid. But if you put on these red shoes, you would end up dancing, and you couldn't stop dancing while the shoes were on. Anyway, that's just what it reminds me of.
Okay. Yeah, it could be something like that. Let's see. Give us another random encounter in Ponyville.
Okay. 15.
A dangerous book of magic has gone missing from the Ponyville library. The powerful magic is dangerous in the hands of any pony but an expert. And the last pony to ask about it is an inexperienced apprentice trying to catch up with their classmates. Can the player characters track it down before the apprentice magician hurts themselves? All right, first off, why is a dangerous book of magic in the public library? You know, that's the first mistake.
I don't know, but I find it interesting that both times they've been about magic.
Yeah, it definitely seems like magic is a problem here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anyways, main point is I like this. I think they've got some fun little ideas for
So I just Googled the red shoes. It's a story, or rather a fairy tale by Hans Christian Andersen.
Okay.
So I'm not crazy. I just can't remember all of it. Anyway. Okay. All right. Sorry. Do you want to roll, or do you want me to roll again?
I don't have my dice ready, so give us one more and we'll end it there.
I rolled 18 again. Bloody heck.
Then roll.
And I just rolled another 15.
You are bad at this.
Now I rolled 7. I have 17. All right.
2 pony best friends have fallen out over an argument. They're both very hurt and angry and want to make up, but don't know how to go about it. Can the player characters help them find common ground again and restore their friendship? Okay. This one right here, this is actually one of the things that I do like about it, about the My Little Pony role-playing game specifically. Number one, it is aimed at kids, and I think this is a good way to like I don't think that that we need to talk or that I don't think we need to get into the whole role-playing games as therapy kind of a thing, but it can be really good for helping kids learn to problem solve, learn to come up with ideas, learn ways to deal with these kinds of things. So I absolutely appreciate it for that aspect. So there we go. There are some great options out there for you to use if you would like to get some extra encounters for your My Little Pony role-playing game. And Goths is still trolling us in chat with My Libertarian Pony. Don't trot on me. Yes, Seraphis, I can second that. If you need therapy, see a therapist. If you need to work on social skills, play an RPG. Actually, you know what? So, our son Ethan, who I'm going to do the Avatar Legends role-playing game with, this was actually something that really helped him. He had issues with thoughts of suicide and things like that when he was younger. And so obviously we took him to a therapist, for stuff like that. But he also got into a group that would play role-playing games, and it was only about like once a month or every other month. And actually was able to use that to develop some friendships, to to help supplement things that he was getting out of therapy. So absolutely agree with that. Avatar the CGI Ferngully. Oh, no, the okay. Sorry, that took me a minute. Not the blue aliens, the weird cartoon.
Yes,
So,
not the blue aliens.
right. Anyhow, so now that we've gone.
Oh, I actually watched a video where they compared Avatar to Pocahontas, and it's legit. It's like copy
Right.
paste, copy
Which
paste.
is also, copy paste from Ferngully, the Last Rainforest.
Right. So, James Cameron, he's not really that great.
Fair enough.
Anyway.
So,
All right.
Seraphis, stop that. We need you around. Dear Lord, buddy. Anyways, I am glad you got into it, even if you guys take way too long to get through combat. Dear Lord.
Well, I think playing D&D did help Ethan with his depression.
No, absolutely, and that's why I say it. I think
you already
it's
said that earlier because I was kind of reading something on my phone while you were talking.
Yeah, no, I think because I mean we had him going to the psychologist, and
Right, and he was on the medication for a while.
Right, and he was on the medication, and I think it was, and I think getting into the role playing games supplemented the therapy.
Sure. And then he had
So
a close group of friends, and then Izzy came along. So
right,
he's
so
had some things besides his
there's
mom and dad.
right, exactly. But I'm just saying role playing. Like I like Seraphis's point about if you need therapy, go to a therapist. If you
Right.
need to work on social skills, play an RPG. And I think they can absolutely be used together.
Can we force Tanner to play My Little Pony with me so he can get some better social skills?
We'll see. Anyways, so on that note, folks, we went we were not expecting this to go this long today. But we hope you enjoyed it. We hope you had fun.
I did.
Goths in Rome, I'm about to ban you from the channel just for mentioning that.
Oh, jeez.
I am never covering that game under any circumstances. I know it's a real game. Anyways, it's not. I'm never covering it ever. Therapist, your turn. Okay, so next week there is going to be one more My Little Pony episode, but it's also going to be a little different. Okay. I don't want to spoil it too much.
Oh, you don't? Because I was gonna say you could go back to page 248.
248.
Oh no, was that it? Never mind. No, it was 255.
255.
Isn't that kind of what you're trying to do there, bud?
No. No, that's not what we're doing. But that's a monster. No. Basically, I had an idea for how to quote unquote customize My Little Pony for people who may not necessarily want to play My Little Pony. And so we're going to talk about that next week, which I think is actually something that's still fun to do with role-playing games, like coming up with ways to reskin some stuff. And like to the point that I was actually excited about this enough that I actually commissioned the soon-to-be daughter-in-law to do some art for it.
Sure. Eggs before they're or chickens before they're hatched. He hasn't even proposed, and I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon.
I know, but we're still claiming her. We like her.
Well, we like her, yeah. So, if it doesn't work out, then we'll just ditch Ethan.
Right? Yeah, I think we could do that. But
that again, means Izzy would have to show up here independently without him.
That's true. That
doesn't work in our favor.
But the short answer is I actually commissioned some art. The plan was to actually go over it today, but the art isn't ready yet. And so we're going to do that next week.
It's getting there.
And I'm very excited for it. I've already seen, basically we're waiting for it to get colored, and I'm super excited. It's going to be so much fun. Oh my gosh. Anyway. Lebensraum. I should know. No.
It's a German.
Yeah, it's a German word. I forget what it means, though.
Living room. You could have just waited, Brian.
My little living room. Interesting. I know it has connotations. Goths. I just looked it up. Let's see.
Conjugate.
We'll end it there. All right, folks. Thanks so much for hanging out. It's been a lot of fun. Come back next week so we can talk about
it's been kind of retarded, actually.
Then there's 4. All right, but come back next week to see...
So the mature pony game would have whips and chains, right?
That's beyond mature at that point, I think. But before Kim gets me kicked off of YouTube, we're gonna.
I think Serapis is going to, because he just took it to R.
This isn't an Australian stream, Serapis.
So the safe word would be what would? Let's see.
Should I be afraid of what you're about to say?
I'm trying to think of what a safe word would be in My Little Pony speak. I mean, I think friendship is magic is too long for a safe word.
Okay. On that note, folks, have a wonderful evening. I'm gonna go before we get demonetized. Have a great day.
Sparkles. That's a safe